by some miracle, or if you were a reasonably talented games player and completed Impossible Mission, there, a couple of years later, came its sequel, Impossible Mission 2, and this is the aforementioned game on the Commodore 64 DTV plug-and-play device. This follows pretty much the same formula as the first game, and that is running around, evil mad scientist, Dr. Atombender, Elvin Atombender, pain in the arse Atombender, whatever his name is, his secret lair. You've obviously built another secret lair that you found, and has stuffed it full of robots again. And there you go, you have 8 hours to complete this mission should you choose to accept it. And of course, that would be Mission Impossible. And is this Mission Impossible? I don't know. It's even more difficult, and as you can see immediately, there's been a huge graphics overhaul. The game's kind of got this sort of pseudo 3D effect to it, and there's more variety in robots, there's more variety in things you can pick up. It's just like a quantum leap forward in terms of graphics and animation and so on and so forth. I think it might have only been a year after Impossible Mission. I have to keep stopping because I always want to say Mission Impossible, but that's obviously the TV and film shows. So yeah, Impossible Mission 2, Impossible Mission 2. Right, okay, I'm okay now. As I was saying, this is, if at all possible, this is also a far tougher game than the previous one. And still, our hero, secret agent, idiot, has still chosen not to arm himself in any way, shape or form. He obviously felt that last time, because he succeeded in the impossible mission that he was given, that it would be relatively straightforward for him to simply go and repeat the mistakes before and not come packed with a Uzi 9mm, AK-47, a rocket launcher and a laser cannon. Which is a mistake, because the robots are even meaner now. There are robots like the one down there with a claw. That one will grab you and throw you down the hole that is just to the edge of the screen. You've got that one annoying the hell out of me at the moment that likes to ride on the lifts. I don't know if it kills you, but it moves the lifts and is generally a pain in the arse. And then you've got the other one at the bottom, the rather cool looking thing with a crash helmet on. That's the one that tends to shoot lasers at you. So yeah, the standard robots of the first game have been replaced by a legion of even more nasty sods, even more inconsiderate robots, and it leads to things like this. Whereas the first game, I enjoyed the fact that, you know, there were really neat gameplay elements. I didn't enjoy this one anywhere near as much. I'm not saying it's a bad game, because it isn't. It's just a personal preference that I didn't enjoy it as much as I did enjoy playing the first game. Although there's like cosmetic improvements to it, and you know, okay, so there should be. There should always be technical improvements. It's just too fussy. There's too much going on, and it just, to me, that ruins the game. The first game, everything was laid out very, very simple and very, very clear. And I think part of the problem with the improvements to the graphics has been, I don't think it necessarily suits a game like this. I just found there was too much clutter, and at times I wasn't sure whether the thing which I was supposed to be trying to scan to find the pieces of the puzzle I needed to complete the game was actually just background decoration, or whether, you know, it was actually something to scan. And in a number of occasions I lost lives trying to scan a piece of background furniture, which was a bit annoying to say the least. I mean, everything in the game, as far as I'm concerned, should either be one or the other when it's laid out like this. It's a puzzle game, it has puzzle elements to it, and that should be enough. But that said, I mean, it's a very, very good game. It's very well put together. The animation is superb. I do like the graphical style. And it is Impossible Mission. There's no two ways about it. I just wish they'd used the extra time they had to make this sequel, had used that time to make a game that was just a bit more interesting, had a bit more difference, should I say, to the first game, rather than just making some very, very confusing graphics that they actually introduced a slightly different gameplay element to it. But I suppose the argument there would be, well then, it's not Impossible Mission anymore, and that's quite right. And it's also probably, far too ambitious a thing to expect a game that came out a year, probably 18 months after its original, to be radically different. I mean, it has had a huge overhaul, graphically speaking, and I suppose that in itself was a terrific achievement. Now, unlike the first game, there are these dragon type things that stop you accessing certain rooms. So you actually need to oh god, let me just quickly tell you about this room. This is what I call an absolute pain in the arse. That is just annoying. A room that's completely blacked out, and I fell down a pit, and I don't even know if there's anything in there worth scanning. I don't know whether I've got to try to get to the computer and turn the lights on. At this point, I was starting to get a bit fatigued, and I suppose part of the problem was I played this straight after playing a big session of Impossible Mission. Bloody, yeah, I got it right, Impossible Mission, yeah. Now, so maybe I'm being very harsh on this game. I mean, I certainly don't mean to be. It is a good game, and I'm not, I can't stress that enough, but it just annoys the hell out of me. The robots annoy the hell out of me in it. But yeah, as I was saying, you need to complete certain parts of the game before you can get into the other rooms, and that is a key gameplay difference. See those two dragon things there? That if you run past it and it sort of snarls at you, that tells you that you can't get into the lift shaft at the end of that corridor. But I don't know if there are other ways around. Yeah, there you go. Kind of snarl, smile, toothy stare, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, there's a barrier down. So you're kind of forced into completing the puzzles that are in the area that you can get to, and it makes the game a bit more limited in that sense. You can't just go off and explore and come back and do the easier bits, or the more difficult bits, should I say, as and when you feel like it. It does sort of railroad you more into having to do a specific part of the game before you can progress any further. Bit of linear gameplay, I suppose you could say, where the previous game tended to be a bit more open. That's kind of interesting. Normally these things work the other way around, but yeah, it's an interesting gameplay choice for a title such as this. So that's Impossible Mission 2 on the Commodore 64 DTV plug and play device. I don't really know what else I can possibly rabbit on and say about it. Needless to say, I got nowhere near finishing this game. I died many times and got frustrated even more times playing it. I've not got... Well, I'm pretty much thinking this is going to be my last of the Commodore 64 DTV game videos, there are 3 more games that I can go on about, and that's California games, summer games, and winter games. But words can't describe how annoying those games are to just do for a review, because in the standard setup, these games are built around 8 players. So I wouldn't be able to play the game as I should be able to play the game, if that makes any sense. I'd end up having to do it like a tournament sort of. Oh, I don't know what the options were, but there was one which was something like having to do it by event, should I say, not tournament. Do each event one at a time. I'm not too sure yet. I wasn't really enthralled when I was playing them anyway. I found the control systems to be... using this DTV controller was an absolute joke. It just didn't work at all. So I'm undecided yet whether I wish to spend the time trying to put an impressions video up for these. I might just do it just for the sake of completionism, but I think I'll leave it for some time, because I've done an awful lot of these videos and I don't want people getting bored. I've got other videos that I want to put up as well, and I want to do some game reviews too, so I may just leave it with this one. And it's not a bad one to leave it on, really. This again was regarded as a bit of a classic for the C64, but yeah, that is Impossible Mission 2 on the Commodore 64 DTV plug and play device. Thank you very much for watching this video, and please stay tuned to my channel for more videos coming in the future.